Yeah, so it's September 3rd, 2020. Had a lot of rain the past couple of days, but I have managed to keep the okra picked. Thought I'd come out today and pick it and maybe show you guys this variety. This is Clemson Spineless. And those of you who haven't grown okra before, this variety supposedly doesn't get too tall, although it's over my head now. This one branches out, so you tend to get a lot more okra per plant than with the others. You can see it's pretty big. It's branched out in several places, so it gets to be like a giant tree. But I pick it every day, and as you can see, there are multiple spears on each plant, so every day you get a couple off of each plant. Now, it has been rainy and relatively cool for this time of year, and no sunshine, so it's not growing quite as quickly. Hey there, Guinea. What are you doing? Huh? Yeah, I'm not too concerned about the guineas in the garden now. There's not much left for them to take. They won't bother the okra. So yeah, as you can see, like right here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 okra spears right there. Let's go. Yeah, so I usually like to get them about this size. Once they get too large, they get tough and they're not edible. But, whoops. And at this point, I've September 3rd, so I've given up weeding for the year. I'll finish out this month and get what okra I can, and then that'll be the end of the gardening. Yeah, so for you, those of you who haven't grown okra in the past, okra does produce these beautiful yellow flowers, and everywhere you have a flower, it'll get pollinated and you'll have an okra spear. And a lot of times the flower will be dried up and left on the end of the okra. But here you can see some larger ones I let get too big. I just throw them on the ground and they'll get tilled back into the soil. But okra is one of the best crops you can grow in the South. It does really well in hot weather. The hotter the better, as long as you can give it some water and just fertilize it once or twice during the season. It'll keep producing. So here's a couple that I missed before, and they're getting kind of large. Never know. Just cut into it. If it doesn't cut easy, then throw it away. Sometimes the big ones will be all right. Just never know. Yeah, so on this plant you can see this is one plant. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's a dozen okra pods forming on here. So that's on one plant. and I think that's the benefit to this variety, this Clemson spineless. It doesn't get as tall, and it produces more per plant. So if you need a lot, you know, you can probably plant half as many plants and get as much as you would with other varieties. So I had put 4 rows in here, and I actually took 1 row out just to make it easier to get in here to pick it. It was just too thick. So next year I'll just plant 3 rows equally spaced, because you got to have room to get in here. And what I've found is every year I become more and more allergic to the leaves. They cause itching on your skin. It doesn't last forever, but usually I wear a long sleeve shirt when I'm picking now. But it will make you itch kind of severely for a while. Probably not everyone, but certainly it does me and a lot of other people. So it's probably best to wear long sleeves when you do this. I should, but yeah, so that looks like about it. You always seem to miss a couple, and you come back and they're 8 inches, close to a foot long at some point. So, but yeah, so there's the haul for today. That's a couple of pounds, but I get that much every day at least. So it's pretty productive. And like I say, you can see how generally, if there's a lot of sunlight, which we haven't had the past few days, you'd be getting twice as much as this per day. But sun's coming out, and tomorrow should be a bumper crop. Then September 3rd, and all that's left in the garden are these tomatoes, which are on their last leg, but I'll go ahead and let them keep going. We've had all this rain, so you get splitting. Suddenly the plants are just overwatered, and so you get a lot of the tomatoes splitting. I don't think there's much you can do about that when you have a dry August and then suddenly you get 6 inches of rain overnight. And then the sweet potatoes, I planted May 18th, so they've been in here right about 100 days, over 100 days. So I think I'll go ahead and try to harvest some of these. The plants are starting to yellow, so that's an indication they're done. And then once those are out and the tomatoes are harvested, there won't be anything left for the garden except the okra. And I don't know, another 2 weeks and I'll have all the okra I could possibly need until next year, so I'll just quit dealing with it at some point. It's kind of a shame. Scout, come on. Okay. Yeah, so the okra, I just rinse it off, throw it in this colander to drain. And then I like to cut it up with just a dull knife. It's sharp enough to go through the okra, but not sharp enough to go through my thumb. And for me, the quickest way to cut it up is just doing it like this, hold it and just go along, chop it off. Maybe some people could do it quicker on a cutting board. Not me. For me, this is my preferred method, cutting it. And then I vacuum pack the okra. I'm out of quart bags, which is what I normally put it in. I've got some on order, so I'll just have to use gallon bags for now. I have rolls. I just find it so inefficient to have to make bags out of rolls that I just don't do it. Oh, there's a couple of quart bags. So yeah, this is the size that I would normally use. And I fill it up to the amount that generally will fill a skillet up with a single layer. And I think I'll just put all this in here and make one big bag. Okay, and then I just vacuum pack these